So, with Halo Infinite, sorry, I should have said the intro. So for today's video, I'm just kind of going on my thoughts of so far what I think about my perspective about how this narrative event's going so far. And I honestly just don't like how the narrative event is so far with the alpha pack and such. It, because I know Joe is back with Infinite as it is, with helping 343 out, and they're doing all this stuff. But I hate where they're doing with narrative event. Like I'm fine with the intro of okay, yeah, we're gonna get introduced to the two new characters and see our Spartan do a little action, whatever. Which I was fine with. I didn't mind that. But what I'm really starting to dislike is these narrative events really don't have a story for us. Like the only bad thing is it gives you some backstory, and it's just only relating with these characters, and nothing to do with our multiplayer Spartan. And I thought Joe stated this, to be honest, that we were supposed to be also part of this journey of hey, we're also the heroes too of the in the universe, as well as our own multiplayer Spartan will have their own story. And I've only seen two games only pulled this off, and there was some sort of narrative story and an actual gameplay, being straight up Halo Reach and Spartan Ops for Halo 4, which actually I didn't even know what I want to use for intro, and so I used the Infinity Escape, which is one of my favorite cutscenes, to be honest, in the Spartan Ops when the raccoon's about to explode. But I figure I go back through a little memory lane, and yeah. So let's do this little memory lane here of what happened in the past in the OG Halo days, to where they made that to where one of the devs actually made the statement. And also I should probably also include Marty O'Donnell's clip of what he thought about when they were making Halo 3, because Marty is a legend. I'm not gonna lie, Marty is a god dang legend, even though 343 went to a classic style in Infinite, which is good. But I figure if they get Joe, idea for you, if you're watching this video of my criticism or opinion or topic, however you want to call it, you should probably get the original devs of if they're not working at Bungie no more, you should ask them to come and help work on that Infinite for maybe just a seasonal story, because I'll touch on more details about it, but I felt like the seasonal narrative story, we should have had some PvE action as well. But anyway, let me go into these videos that what I'm referring to here, and yeah. So I'll be right back, and I'll show off some things where I think it should have been well. All right, be right back.
We write the first draft of the script, but it's not great. Man, do I really want to give all this credit to Marty?
I didn't see any shape to this story. Nothing happy, nothing sad, nothing intense.
But a premature firing will destroy the arc.
It's I think it needs more punch.
Unacceptable! Unacceptable!
What it really needs is some death.
You actually want to get to the point where the player goes, well, wait a minute, I've been this character for 3 games. They can't possibly kill me.
By having the reality of death a part of the story, it did actually introduce this tone of heroism.
Johnson, sound off.
There's no sense of heroic action if there's no real consequences.
Get out of here!
Something that's really important is that our characters feel real.
Do it.
Is Miranda coming across as strong enough?
Now.
Does the Arbiter have enough vengeance built up in him to really push that sword into truth?
You must be silenced.
But the story that we're telling is the story of a human conflict with an aggressive adversarial species, the Covenant.
One of the keys to the success of the story is we didn't pump a lot of time into figuring out who the Master Chief was and why he was a ghost in the shell. We thought he is a husk. He's a big green suit of armor that you move around.
There's something good about having the Master Chief essentially be a blank slate. That helps each individual person connect to the character.
You found me, but so much of me is wrong.
The main personal relationship you have in the game is with an AI called Cortana.
I do know how to pick 'em.
At least one of our writers refers to her as your girlfriend.
Cortana's every girlfriend that we've ever had. No, just kidding. She's your little guardian angel.
Got an escape plan?
Thought I'd try shooting my way out.
Cortana plays a huge role in the fiction of this game, and we didn't want people to forget about her.
No, I don't want to chance a remote detonation. I need to stay here.
By the end of Halo 2, the Chief is separated from Cortana for the first time.
After I'm through with truth.
They'll make a girl a promise. If you know you can't keep it.
You need to constantly remind players of what they're missing, that this thing is something worth going after. But if it was just a straight, now go find her, here's a map, people wouldn't care.
It is a balance between telling the story and letting the player have their own story.
Is it more satisfying as a player to kill Guilty Spark yourself, or to see the Chief do it in cinematic? But as soon as you make that decision, you're taking that action away from the player.
Figuring that out is really the challenge of telling stories in games.
When you're trying to balance story and gameplay, one can't come at the expense of the other.
The trick is to weave story into those gameplay sequences without interrupting the gameplay.
We're being a lot more cagey about the way we sneak story in.
There's the Cortana channel, there's the Perspective channel, there's the Letterbox channel, which are the traditional cinematics. All of those work together to tell our story across the entire game.
Perspective channel essentially means that Chief is still going to be in the scene, but it's not a letterbox cinematic, but he's not going to talk, and they're going to be really short, and they're mainly just going to focus on the action.
The event is happening in real time. When you press to skip it, instead of going to the end, that event just continues to happen.
It's just one of those little sort of exploratory moments that players can choose to take part in, or they can choose to ignore.
It feels much more like a story that you're experiencing instead of a game with a movie that comes in every once in a while.
There's certain parts of the story that you tell by having Cortana talking in your ear.
It was the coin's fault. I wanted to make you strong.
The Cortana effect is essentially another story channel that we came up with. Because she is with the Flood, she can sort of give you bits and pieces of, you know, what's going on, but in this really fractured, fragmented sort of way.
Your mission? Could you watch me die?
We also have a separate storytelling method, which we call the vignettes. It's just a cool little thing where the characters are animated in a very custom way.
You can walk into an environment and you can see a couple brutes beating up a couple Marines.
They're not just standing there looking at the door that you just came through, pointing their weapons at you.
It gives the sense that there's something else greater going on in the story.
One of the things that we've tried really hard to do was make the cinematics directly related to what you just finished doing or what you're about to start doing. In Halo 3, almost all of our letterbox cinematics start with a player action.
You must activate the
So it flows really nicely from one gameplay segment into the cinematic and out to the other gameplay segment.
I'm sitting here day in and day out working on the cinematics. And every scene that I make, there's this voice in the back of my head saying, what is keeping the player from skipping this? What's keeping the player from hitting a button and just going right to the end?
Ultimately, it's involving the player and making the player really feel that they're in this story.
You want to establish that this is something a little bit more important.
The story that we're trying to tell has higher stakes. Whether we can do that, we won't know until that thing's in people's hands and they're playing.
So if you see like that little memory trip, this is our whole video of behind the scenes of making Halo 3. You clearly see where I kept like there's the two parts there. Sorry if they're pretty long, but you know I didn't want to leave out details, and it was very interesting. So I figured, you know, like, hey, let's just send this down to memory lane, you know, and which, you know, Marty O'Donnell, like, if like when you see the part 1, you know, if you really didn't see the part 1, you just skip the part 2 bit where, you know, they really talk about the you know, how the story would be with both, you know, like, should we take away the player's ability to get satisfied of doing this, or have them, or actually let them have the ability to do that. And that's what I kind of feel like in Infinite, it's what it's doing. Like, I don't mind the intro, but when you throw us a seasonal story, and I should probably include the clips later, because I'm going to be mentioning it again, of like this and this and this scenario, where there's really nothing happening with our Spartans. It's just ridiculous. It's an outrage, because like, what are we doing? Like, other than we're just doing what we know about, as far as we know, is straight up fighting our fellow Spartans. We're literally not fighting anybody else. We're not fighting no Covenant. We're not fighting no Banished. We're not doing anything fun that's like, oh, go rescue this survivor, or something like that, of a PvE event. A PvE event should come into place, like firefight, or or stuff like, take a look from the past. That would have helped. That has successfully done this. So I will feature me talking about that, how the event went. So yeah, I'll be back. But here's Halo Infinite, a part of the Halo Infinite Season 2 talk. Goes before the release. So yeah, here you go.
Intro cinematic is when we plan our seasonal stories, we want to make sure that the player, all of you, are at the heart of this story, driving events. If we kick off a crisis like this, we want the players to be the solution to that crisis. So this cinematic would immediately roll into the first event of the season. No spoilers, where you as a player begin to work through this problem, and by playing, progress the story. And that, in short, is seasonal narrative. But if we want to bring up the image of the Spartans, so you can see in this image, you have Spartan Din in the middle there on his knees. You have Spartan Eklund on the right. Brian, who's that Spartan on the left? Well, that's the player. That's you. That's you in the game. And so, however you show up with your customization, that'll be you. If you're rocking
my full neon Spartan and all my katanas or my samurai, it's all going to be there, right?
100%.
My mohawk.
Yep.
Okay.
One of the things from the very early days of Halo that I am still super passionate about is this idea in Halo 1 that it was BYOG, bring your own gun to the cinematics. Whatever gun you had in your hand in a Halo 1 cinematic would show up. That's true for Infinite. Well, in this case, I guess it's bring your own armor, bring your own customization. So in these real-time cinematics, in the in-engine cinematics, yeah, if you want to rock, I don't know, Brian, whatever crazy stuff with your mohawk.
Oh, we'll do it.
Yeah, it'll be there. And so just another small way, but an important way that we're really emphasizing, hey, this is you. This is you at the heart of our story. Right there, boots on the ground, center of the event, center of the crisis. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
As you heard, basically, our Spartan is supposed to be like, the center of like dealing with the crisis, whatever part of the events, and it's just kind of ridiculous, of yeah, hey, we like, I understand the one part of event is like, go fight, our fellow Spartans, the last Spartan standing, and I will also show the two cutscenes, and a lot of people, and I agree with this, the event sucked. This whole season story just kind of sucked for the bit, and like Bungie pulled off better in Destiny 2 with their season stories, and I know Bungie did well with Joseph Staten doing Halo Reach, and then 343 doing well in Spartanos. But anyways, let's go no further, and I'll show you the two cutscenes for Infinite's current events that was past and now.
Me and Din, we came up together. He's a fighter. But that banished AI, it's gonna kill him if we don't act fast and break a few rules. I gave the order to upload the schematics of the banished facility on Camber to our combat simulation. And now, there's an open door for Iratus. I need you, and as many Spartans as possible to hit the sim. And when you do, I'm betting Iratus gets, irritated. Angry enough to leave Din and go after you. And when he does, we'll slam the door shut behind him. So yeah, You and your teammates are the bait. Try not to get bitten. You damn well did it, Spartan. Iratu's took the bait, and now we got him locked up in here along with the entire banished archive. Are you done? Or do you need me to go find a muzzle? Spartan Din. He's still in the infirmary, but he'll pull through thanks to you. In the meantime, we're gonna put all this fancy Oni hardware to work on cracking that archive. And maybe teach our new guest how to play nice.
Commander Grinia told me what you did for Spartan Din. We've had each other's back since the Vihar collapse. Without Din, I would have died more times than I want to count. But sometimes, you have to fight on your own. I'd like to see what you can do, when the only one who has your back is you. Not bad. You fed well on your own. But remember, out there, beyond the safety of these walls, without resupply or reinforcements, survival depends on your teammates and whatever you can find in the field. My gear. It's not standard issue. It's necessity. History. A collection of hard choices. Someday I'll fall and whoever's left will pick up my pieces. But that's what it means to be part of a pack. And we always have room for another wolf.
So basically, if you've seen the two events, which was the first event being the interference event, and then the second one, which was the current one that's happening as the Alpha Pack, you see where it's very lame. Like the first one is understandable, it was all right, but then the second one's very nothing interesting. And here's the bad thing, both the events had to require you to play Last Spartan Standing, which in my opinion is the very, very worst game mode ever, compared to some of the game modes that's in Halo 5. It's the core, where it's utterly destroyed in my opinion, other than Infection and Warzone Firefight. But all the other modes, I can handle. I find a joy. And what I found even more stupid is saying oh, behind us these walls. For us long-time Halo players, we know the dangers because we've experienced it on Legendary. We've experienced it in Firefight. We've experienced it a lot to where we run out of ammo. Then it comes to okay, time to punch, or time to go find another weapon. But if we can't get some story content for our Spartans to have our Spartans involved, which I will show off some gameplay and some scenes of our multiplayer Spartan actually being involved using my armor set that I prefer, which you see on my old footage right here. I made as a little fan made. That's my armor set I used in Reach. So let's get right to it, shall we? And I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna let you guys have the feel of this is what we should have had. So I'll be right back.
Can get the relay back online. Emil, post here. If we flush any hostiles, they're yours. All right, let's do this.
Number 6, search that body.
Where's the rest of your unit?
We got split. I don't think they... It sounded bad on the comms.
All right, Corporal. Stay put. We'll get you a combat surgeon.
Damn. Plasma damage.
Found something.
I'll take that, 6. Not your domain.
I got a live one over here.
Come on. Archie, come. It's all right. We're not gonna hurt you.
George.
I got her. Keep still, and I'll release you.
It's over!
We've been engaged! Bad guy coming out!
That Tango group has permission to pursue.
Negative 4, stay on the entrance. 2, handle her. 5 and 6, clear the hole.
Just like that. Don't let up. Take them round. Firing.
There's more. Flush them out. I've got you covered.
Cat needs you to reset a junction. Do it, and get back here.
Launch team. Saber is prepped and ready for launch.
Jude's on his way with a Falcon. Exfil after you launch. Move. You heard him, 6. Let's go.
Struts disengaged. Commencing launch in T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2. First stage engine burn nominal. Stage separation in 3, 2, 1. Stage separation. Second stage ignition confirmed.
Noble Actual to Saber Bravo 029er, over.
Copy, Actual. Colonel Holland.
Affirmative, Noble 5. Welcome to Operation Uppercut. I'll be your control from here on out.
Understood, Colonel.
Noble 6, these Sabers have been customized for orbital defense. You may need to get reacquainted. Rendezvous at Anchor 9 with Frigate Savannah and the other Sabers as soon as you're ready. Holland out.
You all warmed up, 6. We should head for the Savannah. Multiple unidentified contacts.
Savannah Actual to Saber teams. Be advised, we have bogies inbound.
Anchor 9 to all UNSC ships. Station defenses are down. Requesting combat support until we can bring them back online.
Here we go, 6. Show them what you can do.
Defensive batteries are at 56%. Hang in there, Saber teams. Anchor 9er to UNSC ships. Impulse drive signatures detected. Fighter class. Heads up, Sabers. Saber teams, use your guns to take down their shields, then hit them with your missiles. Defensive batteries at 79%. Buy us another minute, Saber teams. Anchor 9er to all craft in the vicinity. Be advised we should...
Spartan Miller, I found them. Dalton, we found Crimson. Distract the bad guys for a second. You got it. Firing solution resolved. Incoming. Crimson, glad to have you back. Roland, have we got any intel on this place? Not much, no. Keep up the fight, Crimson. We'll have a plan for you shortly. Phantom inbound. Phantom inbound. Area's not secure yet. Marking your last few targets. Spartan Miller, there's a potential evac zone, but it's heavily shielded. Heavily shielded isn't exactly an evac zone. I did say potential evac zone. Marking the shield controls for you. Take them down.
Can I ask you a question, Doc? What were you hoping to achieve with your little subterfuge? I mean, Captain Lasky put a lot of faith in you.
Yes, his hospitality speaks wonders.
Come on, Doc. What has keeping secrets ever really gained you?
What is hidden can be useful.
Such as?
Such as the phrase, undid iridium.
Undid. UNSC AI override instructions active, Dr. Catherine Halsey.
Roland, tell the guards outside that Captain Lasky has requested my presence in his ready room. Then block all further communications.
Yes.
Captain has to see you, Doctor. Have a seat, Doctor.
Thank you, gentlemen. You may go.
Roland, give me full access to this terminal.
Yes, Dr. Catherine Halsey.
The Didact's hand. If people would just share things with me, I could solve all the world's problems. Send everything the UNSC has on the librarian to my datapad.
Yes, Dr. Catherine Halsey.
This is all my own research. I need new information. Anything that has been kept from me.
Only one data point exists that is not your own research. Debriefing of Master Chief Petty Officer Spartan 117, post-New Phoenix incident.
John? Roland, prep a Pelican for immediate launch. And patch this terminal into the comm systems infiltrated by the artifact.
Doc, whatever you did to me! Ah!
Yes, Dr. Catherine Halsey.
Jewel Mdama.
Catherine Halsey.
We have played your game quite long enough, and we are both out of time.
In our previous conversation, you mentioned assistance. But the Didact's hand could offer me a Promethean soul. What we both want, Jewel. Librarian. A powerful name for me as well as you. Librarian was very fond of humans. Did you know that?
That was a dirty trick, Doc. My turn now.
Stay right where you are, Doctor.
Dr. Halsey, I've underestimated you long enough. A cryotube should hold you until...
John's alive. He was here, on the ship. Nobody told me he was alive.
They're everywhere!
Hold alive! Nothing gets past!
Commander Palmer, report!
Out of busy, Captain! Master facing to the artifact! Don't worry, we'll keep them contained in the hangar.
Too late! They're here too! Halsey! Come on, stop them! Captain Lasky to all hands! Battle stations! This is not a drill!
Lasky!
Ship's defenses can't pick you out of the crowd. It's okay. I got this. Crimson! Hell of an entrance, Spartans. Crimson, help the Marines secure that hangar. Murphy, are you there? Still in one piece, Spartan. Just pinned in here real good. Hang tight, Murphy. Roland, send an extraction team in for Murphy. Roland? Roland, you there? Comms are offline across the board.
Attention. Spartan fire teams Kodiak and Avalanche. Proceed to 4 operating 12-7. All other mission parameters are suspended.
Entering the hangar. Hold them off while I find a way to seal the bay.
So if you saw basically in the two gameplay videos of each of Halo Reach and Halo 4, you saw I let at least like the Halo Reach let it play a certain cutscene, and I did some of the mission. And same with like Halo 4 of the one mission, even though I didn't play its intro cutscene of like the whole big cinematic, but it shows that like that little in-game cinematic where my Mark 7, not Mark 7, but Mark 6 armor Spartan of the Spartan 4 went and did an assassination, looking cool, and then just automatically take it over. And it's same with Halos in the one that I had of the hell is it called? the taking over the ship, you know, and you know, you saw that whole cutscene of where, you know, it shows what's happening on the Infinity, and then I went and played some of the mission where our Spartan is coming back to the Infinity to help defend. I wish we can have stuff like that in Infinite. Like, what's the point of putting us in like in these moments, in these crises, in these stories? Because so far of the two events, you know, like I understand the one event, you know, play LSS with, you know, against other Spartans just to trick the AI. That is fine, but with this current one, it's like so stupid. It's like, you know, should at least have like, you know, some sort of PvE at least, you know, because it was kind of ridiculous, you know, and like Bungie did a whole lot of great job with their Destiny 2 seasonal story, and it's like narrative, and we get to participate, and we see our Guardian. Joe, if you're watching and you made it this far, like, can you at least try contacting at least your old Halo devs that is no longer working with Bungie? Like, we already know Paul Burrito's in it. Like, so try to get a hold of Mario O'Donnell. Try to get a hold of Jamie Grissom. Get a hold of some of the old people that loves Halo, that wouldn't mind coming in and helping Infinite out and just have them do like the seasonal stuff. You know, like, I'm just giving you ideas, and I don't care if it was you guys had an issue in the past where, like, you know, Marty had killed Johnson off on you, but, you know, just please, I'm just giving you ideas. All right. Well, I hope you all have a good day, good night, whenever you watch this, and yeah, stay safe.